When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you're in the championship rounds with King, of Essex. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Had to take some time off, had to, pardon the expression, let the kitty get fat. I had to let the news build up. Plus, I didn't want to preempt any information that might come our way via the WBC convention that was held in Hamburg, Germany. So, let's get right into it. The convention has announced, all right, starting with, and I'm all over the place, but everything is WBC until we get to the fight week preview. So just bear with me. Everything, ladies and gentlemen, WBC oriented, beginning with 168 pounds, the unified WBC champion and WBA Super Middleweight champion Franchon Crews-Dezurn, by virtue of the WBC, has ordered or suggested, requested, how these things go, because they're not necessarily permanent. I mean, they're almost, you go and you make a case and people kind of have to use their judgment, some calculations, and some politicking. Let's be quite frank. Raquel Miller, we've heard her name in and around boxing circles, women's boxing circles, for years. She's been not only been recommended as opponent for Clarissa Shields in the future, but for the right now, especially since, well, she's campaigning at heavyweight. Franchon Crews-Dezurn and Raquel Miller has been suggested, recommended. All sounds well and good, but here's my only problem with that. Raquel Miller hasn't fought in 2 years. Yeah, talented fighter, 13-0, 6 knockouts. She could come right back, but against the former undisputed unified world champ, I guess it could be a good fight, but I think we got some work already at 168. And I'm trying to tell you, where the hell is Savannah Marshall? Regardless of the pettiness online, I ain't got shit to do with that. Shadasia Green is a more than great bout. Plus, you get, to take the belt on your way to undisputed. It doesn't make sense if it's only out of spite or I don't like the girl or I don't know. That ain't a reason to not make the fight. But who am I? Just a guy that is passionate and concerned about the future of women's boxing. And so it goes. Maybe we'll get Raquel Miller and Franchon Crews-Dezurn. More news coming out of the WBC. They mentioned something funny about 160 pounds, the middleweight division. And there's a title bout this weekend for one of the vacant titles, but Clarissa Shields is the predominant champion at 160 with two titles, the IBF and the WBO being vacant. They said in that division there are no fights available, no interesting fights, and or no one has stepped forward to ask for any fights. Um, Not a way to treat a division. So yes, I get it. Shields is a champ at 160. She can do what she want. Do something at 160 or let those belts go, I guess. I don't know. Um, See, and I'm just get right to it. And I guess it's the WBC because Clarissa Shields, with her heavyweight title, I think has been ordered to face Danielle Perkins. I know people have seen the speculation online. Yes, she's at an advanced age, but we've seen Cecilia Brækhus. I know that's an active former world champion. We haven't seen pretty much an accomplished amateur and inactive pro step up to this stage. It's so much going on wrong with that equation. Again, I'm not laying any of this at the feet of Clarissa Shields, but you already got 160 in the condition that it's in. We know there are other fights available, but yet you're going to take a fight against Danielle Perkins. Now, the business of it is Perkins is signed to T-Rex Promotions. It's an in-house fight. Mark Kriegel and all, so it's a business decision, but we certainly know that there should be other fights out there. And if not, you've heard me say this before, it begs the question, what's left? What's left, you know? Because this ain't, you know, yeah, big announcement coming soon, continuing to make history. Like this doesn't matter. Like this is the guy that, you know, yo, I ate the most Doritos in a single day. Yeah, it's a fucking record, but who gives a shit? So yeah, you'll go on and either defend your heavyweight title or you'll take Perkins' heavyweight title, and it just won't mean as much, you know, because of the opposition. And all due respect to Danielle Perkins, it's just that what do we have to go off of? All right. What we do have to go off is I'm going to say Daniel, because that's a championship family, but it is Caroline, who does not have to worry, does not have to wait, does not have to wonder what Katie Taylor is going to do, because Katie Taylor has relinquished her WBC title, and now Caroline Dubois is the full unified WBC and IBO lightweight division champion. Lots of cachet, lots of credibility, lots of marketing. And I love that Dubois is already separating herself from Katie Taylor and Taylor's legacy at 135. She doesn't need the Taylor fight. I'm in agreement with her. Lots of opponents, you know, we can talk about that. You know, Alycia Baumgardner, where you at? Right? You about to fight Delfine Persoon? Let me just get right into that. Right? Because instead of Alycia Baumgardner stepping up, I mean, 130. And Peggy Whitmore is waiting for an opportunity. So that's a damn shame. I don't like to see you know, divisions kind of languish, right? I get it. Look for the big money fights. But Baumgardner, I've been telling you, and Dubois has been asking, step up. Now she's got that WBC. Now's the time, because nobody gives a shit. No one gets anything out of the Baumgardner Persoon rematch that was ordered because of the no contest that occurred back in September. I mean, I don't know if Baumgardner's like trying to angle. Yeah, go all the way up to 140, but look at the line you're in, right? You got to wait out Amanda Serrano. You got to wait out Chantel Cameron. Then you got to try to finagle yourself into the situation. And meanwhile, you have the little known Sam Worthington already filling that void. So yeah, the name Alycia Baumgardner might seemingly mean much more, but come on, we need something to boost that cachet. So, the WBC has also discussed and have been open to Overtime Boxing, who's representing Tiara Brown. I believe they said they were willing to step aside one more again, or however the situation has gone, to allow Skye Nicolson a homecoming, potentially a unification bout against Nina Meinke. Tiara Brown and Overtime Boxing are gracious enough to kind of, and I'm sure there's a price tag on it. I think it would have to be, and that's fair business practices, but step aside and allowing Nicolson that hometown bout, title defense, unification, and then, you know, Brown getting the winner of that. Hopefully, but this is why I said there's politics involved, because I don't think there's anything that guarantees Brown that shot should Meinke win that belt. What if Meinke says, I'm not doing nothing with Nicolson because I do 12 by threes? I did a 12 by three with Serrano, and if Nicolson want this belt, she got to do a 12 by three with me. The price may be lucrative enough for her to say, damn the 12 by threes, I'm going to Australia, but a lots of possibilities. But it seems as though the WBC is addressing and trying to facilitate Skye Nicolson versus Tiara Brown, since Tiara Brown is the interim WBC champion. Now, also some lesser known to you guys, but known to me. All right, we're talking about super bantamweight, 122 pounds. I spent a lot of time in this division following you know, Nazarena Romero and the whole Erica Cruz saga. But and Ellie Scottney, wondering what's going on with Ellie Scottney, right? Is she moving up to 126 or not? We got to find out. But Sergey Lefebvre, out of France, 19-1. Her only loss to Ellie Scottney. She is the former WBO champ, and She's trying to become the mandatory for Yamalith Mercado's WBC title. So again, Lefebvre out of France, she is the former WBO. I believe she just recently won a WBC International. So she's trying to become a two-time champion in the super bantamweight division. Her nickname is the Majestic. So let's see if she can work her magic on this one. All right. Also, coming out of the WBC, one of my favorites, right? Yokasta Valle, on her reascension throughout the strawweight division. That's 105 pounds. And she is scheduled to face, I believe this is the mandatory, or I believe she is the interim WBC champion out of Japan, Umi Ishikawa, 12-3 with 10 KOs. Now, this is going to be a sneakily exciting fight. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to be an exciting fight. We know Valle is all for the action, and as customary with Japanese fighters, tend to be action fighters themselves, and with 10 knockouts, maybe that's what she's going for. Nonetheless, should be a great bout. Love to see Valle continuing her ascension through the ranks. All right. And let's get into the fight week action. Fight week action, because there are some caveats to these bouts happening this weekend to where the WBC has some involvement. All right. Biggest bouts. Let's start championship bouts. Natasha Jonas makes her long-awaited return to defend her IBF welterweight division title. Also in unification against Ivana Habazin. Habazin is currently the WBC, and I believe she has a WBA gold or interim, something along those lines. It's not full WBA because Lauren Price has got that, but Jonas and Habazin, the winner of this one, is scheduled, and most people will tend to think that it is Jonas, myself included. Not an easy fight for Jonas to come back to off such a long layoff, but Jonas definitely does have the goods. Don't know where the power is at, but southpaw, that left, she can counter very, very well, and she can jab over the top of her opponent's jab. So when she's in there against the orthodox fighter, she usually wins the battle of the jab, and she can get that left off rather quickly. So she can sway rounds. She's quick. She's quick. She's quick. Let's see if she still has her edge and gets the edge in that bout. On the undercard, I mentioned Lauren Price, WBA champion. She's also IBO and Ring Magazine welterweight. She's in there against a puncher. I think this is, again, coming off sort of a long layoff off of the win since retiring Jessica McCaskill. But I think giving her the flavor of a fighter that might try to come in there and be a little bit more aggressive. We know Price can box and outbox, but maybe giving her a different look with a, I'll call her a rough and rugged opponent. She's got, what, 7 knockouts? She's kind of cute. Gotta see how she look on fight night. But that's going to be a great fight. Like I said, Jonas and Price on a collision course. This is on Boxer, welterweight division. Tune into that one. Also, speaking of title fights, I mentioned the middleweight division. The vacant IBF title will be up for grabs. Australia's Kay Scott, who's 4-0. She's a long amateur and Olympic career in Australia. Turned pro not too long ago. So don't be fooled by only the 4 professional bouts. I think she's up for the task, and especially since she already has a win over her opponent, Desley Robinson. Robinson is 8-3 with one of those 3 losses coming to Kay Scott. So this is a rematch, but this time IBF titles on the line. Will Scott become an eventual opponent for Clarissa Shields? Who knows? But I think it's time to add some flavor and add some parity, to add some competitiveness to the middleweight division. I know it does well for the cachet and the marketing, but Shields can let the belts go. All right. Not letting go of title opportunities is Mary Romero, the 10-6 and former bantamweight title contender. She's gonna face long hostage holding Ashley Gonzalez. She's the WBC Super Flyweight division champion. Gonzalez has certainly been inactive for like 2 years, if not longer. Jenny Fuchs has become the interim champ, and the winner of this bout will face Jenny Fuchs. So you got Ashley Gonzalez versus Mary Romero. Mary Romero, pardon me, is a very tough veteran coming off of in the past. She's had some loss against some top opponents. Can't remember off the top of my head, but be sure to tune in. Most recent bout was, in the eyes of many, not a loss. It came against a prospect, Rihanna Rios. And I don't know. I think Romero can pull this one out if you ask me. I hope that's not just being biased. I believe that Romero, I think the layoff is going to hurt Gonzalez, and I just think Romero's a tougher fighter. Also, Super Flyweight division title bout. This is for the IBF. Irma Garcia will be defending her title against Gloria Gallardo. I actually spoke about many of these bouts a few weeks ago, but now they are finally upon us, okay? Sarah Bailey out of Canada will be defending her, she'll be defending her WBC international title. She is in the junior flyweight division. So it's what, 108 pounds. Yeah, so she's defending her WBC International against former WBA 105-pound strawweight champion Annabelle Ortiz. Now, Ortiz has been in the ring with Yokasta Valle and losses, albeit Tanisha Estrada and Marlene Esparza. So it's just a matter of, does she have enough in the tank to pull off the win and upset the young fighter? I don't happen to think so, but anything can happen. Those ladies will tell us when they get in the ring. Now, 135 pounds, I mentioned Caroline Dubois, and this is an opponent outside of Baumgardner. We're talking unification, and now that Dubois has that full WBC, now we're talking WBC and IBF, because the IBF champion on a layoff, but not because of inactivity, but because of her participation in the Olympics in Paris this past summer. I'm talking about Beatrice the Beast Freire. She'll be defending her title against, and again, I made jokes about the opponent, not to disparage, but 23-2 with 4 KOs, but she's never fought anybody that never heard of. Losses have come to opponents with winning records. So, this is a professional, right? But an exhibition for Ferreira. This is in Monte Carlo. So, she's going to try to get the stoppage and make it entertaining, and also market herself to try to, close in on a matchup with Harper or Dubois, right? 135 is where it's at. All right. Now, what I didn't mention, because it wasn't announced in the WBC, because I'm talking about Caroline Dubois again. Caroline Dubois will face Jessica the Cobra Camara for Camara's WBA gold. So that's going to be a great fight. And matter of fact, it's no longer gold. It's a full WBA. Because again, Katie Taylor decided that she would vacate. So now you got Dubois in a unification, got her WBC, her IBO, and now the WBA on the line. But Camara is no pushover. Can't wait to see the inside fighting between these two. Dubois may have the height edge, but Camara's durable and she's pretty tough, powerful. Yeah, but she may be the better inside fighter, but Dubois has been getting pretty nasty with it. So yeah, a very entertaining fight. Also in action, I mentioned Sam Worthington. She's fighting today, Thursday. She is fighting an opponent on the undercard of a Salida Promotions affair in Detroit. Now, Worthington is little known as she may or may not be. She's making a case to get at Katie Taylor. Worthington is number 4 in the WBO, number 5 in the WBA, number 2 in the IBF. Ideally, yeah, one may say Katie Taylor could take the fight with Worthington before deciding on either Serrano or Cameron, but I don't know if you want to give up anything before you get in a ring with either one of those two ladies, even if you think you got Serrano's number. But kind of respectfully, you only take the Worthington fight because you think you got Serrano's number. You'd be a fool to take the Worthington fight and then could jump in there with Cameron. So I don't know, but seems like Katie Taylor again, silent, silent boss. She don't have to say much, but she's holding the cards. All right, so that is it. Not all, but Carolyn Vuve. She's fighting tonight in Canada. She's a featherweight a prospect making her way for a WBC international, I believe. So lots of scattered action all over the place this weekend, but had to make sure that I reconnected with you guys and that you got you guys tapped into what's happening in women's boxing, because women's boxing is boxing and boxing is this thing of ours. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here.